Do you think teens should play sport? Well, let's have a look. This is teen sport. So, what are your views on sport?
Well, I'm very passionate and I love my sport. I love my football in particular. I love my Grand Prix racing, Formula One. I've travelled the country and I've travelled the world. So I've travelled to Malaysia to watch Formula One, travelled to Hungary to watch Formula One, travelled to Italy to watch Formula One. Then my football club, Cardiff, which is so close to my heart. Literally think if I cut my arm off, it'll just have blue bloods because I love them so much. But yeah, I'll travel all the away days and just shows how much I love my sport.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of like a passion around the world. Like it does bring people together, and people, as Ollie said, like go around the country and follow it and stuff. And like, it is what just people love, and I love, and we all love. Like, when you support your club, it's kind of like, I don't know. It is like another passion, another love kind of thing.
So, do you think it's a good thing for teens to do sport, or do you think it should just be mainly for when you get older?
I think it's good for teens to do sport, and even if it's just a kick about at your park or something, then it's certainly that's how I got into football. Is I started playing with it with my brother and my cousin, and then when I remember, what was it? It was in my local park. And then it was my cousin said to me after we played the match, "You ought to go and watch Stevenage." I was like, "Yeah," and it was quite late, so I was like I was 10, so I was brought into sport late. But then ever since that, I loved it, and I think many teens would feel the same if they start getting into sports and then they watch events.
Yeah, I think people of any age should play it if they can. Like, a lot of people, especially professional footballers now, they were all born with like a ball at their feet. It's kind of like also kind of like as a teen you've got exams, school, that kind of stuff, and it's kind of like another thing to do, bring you together.
Take some pressure off your shoulders sometimes, just expressing yourself with a ball, or any other sport.
Playing with your friends and that kind of stuff as well is fun.
So, would you say that the sport helps teens with mental issues, with pressure, appearance, pressure and everything?
I think so, yeah. Like it's got like a big like stress and anxiety relief.
Yeah.
Playing football on the weekends, like taking your mind off things.
Yeah. So, do you play for a team or any clubs?
Nah, at one point I was going to do Sunday League, but I think I pulled out last minute. I was a bit nervous, but so for some people they'd like it, but for me, I think just playing without any pressure or something, it's just the best way in a way. And we might get like a five-a-side or something going, and it's just a good way to bond with your friends and get closer, because these are friends that I was at with secondary school, and then obviously we've now moved on. But it's sport is starting to bring us back together a bit.
Yeah, I played football. I finished my last year of youth football last season. I work on the weekends now, so I can't do it. But I played for a club since I was about 7.
What club was that?
Is Panzanger.
Yeah.
So I just love playing. I've played on the wing.
So, if you could say your favourite sport, what would it be?
Definitely football.
It's football.
Yeah.
Followed close by Formula One, but it has to be football at top.
Football, 100%.
Any sports that you think are a bit sexist, or well, not sexist, but deemed to be?
There's always been a lot of controversy with Formula One recently because they've had all the grid girl stuff.
Yeah.
And they've replaced them now with grid kids, but you still get it in other motorsports. You have grid girls, and it's always this thing of a sexy girl in front of a driver is always the way it's meant to be, and there's always views on it whether because some people say, oh, but the girls actually like it, and there's others that will say, oh, they're forced to it. But slowly. It's certainly changing Formula One. They've now got grid kids and that.
Yeah.
Sort of like make it a more less sexist sport. But you also get it in loads of sports. You always get, sadly, it's like male dominated.
Yeah.
You get it in football. Women's football certainly coming up a lot because you certainly see it a lot more on the telly. And I've been to a couple of matches. Really good. But yeah, there's sadly seems that it's a lot of male dominated sport.
Yeah, I think in like rugby and football and stuff, at the end of the day, say Chelsea versus Arsenal men's match is going to get much more views. It's going to make more money than the Chelsea versus Arsenal women's match.
Yeah.
And that's kind of just how it is, and they can't really stop as long as women's football is coming up, and like it does make money, but there's nothing they can really do about it not making as much.
Yeah. But do you think that's from not being encouraged from a young age, or is it just anything from
Yeah,
when they're older?
probably. It's yeah, it's tough. It probably is that, because when you go to it, certainly in my part, you see a lot of, like, we're talking like toddlers, just playing about it, but you don't see many girls just going out and playing with their friends, because it's just the way it is, and compared to more boys, and it's always like with sport, if you want to succeed, you have to have a passion in it.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be more girls going out playing football with their friends, bonding, then getting a passion to the sport, and then hopefully making a career out of it.
Yeah. So, going back to football, what's your favourite football teams?
Oh, it's Cardiff City for me. A long one to tell, but I've got my granddad's a Cardiff fan. He's been for 60 odd years now, and he's the only one in my family that likes football. And he brought me into it, and he's always been to the match on his own. I went to my first one. It was a local derby against Bristol, and the atmosphere is unreal. And since then, I've always supported them. And this season's been a special one for us, because we've got promoted to the Premiership, and it's so mental how your heart rate, how many ups and downs you can go with just the people kicking about a ball, but it is mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Man United fan. Since Sir Alex Ferguson left, it's like it has been like a bit painful to watch, but at the end of the day, like, that's the club I love. I'll always support them no matter what. And it's kind of just through, like Ali said, like family origins. My dad supports them, but like there's also, because my uncle and my granddad were born in Fulham, I'll always support them as well. It's like they're in the playoff final on the weekend. I'm going to see them in there. It's kind of backing my team, watching them when I can.